Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Play Branson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. Today on the show, I have an extraordinary entertainer. I have Rick Thomas, a world-class magician, illusionist, and you'll hear his story here in just a minute. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Branson really offers a great variety of shows, and Rick's a perfect example of that, because some people will just think Branson is country music. We love our country music, but Branson has a big variety of entertainment and different types of shows, and has really become one of the few places in the country that you can see live entertainment. And so maybe you've been cooped up at home because of COVID. Well, I'm happy to report Branson is open, and you can come here. You can have fun. You can do the lakes. You can do golfing. You can do theme parks, but you can do live entertainment in a friendly, safe way. And so we want to encourage you to come. We'll be back in just a minute with more from Rick Thomas.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need ibranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at ibranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. ibranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to Play Branson, and we are here today with Rick Thomas. And Rick, it's good to have you back on the show.
I'm actually thrilled.
Yeah.
Can you tell? I'm just happy we're all moving forward, and life is getting back to normal.
Yeah. And so it was a little over a year ago when you were on the show, and you had just gotten this award for Entertainer of the Year for Branson for the Terry Awards, I believe it was. So that's pretty awesome. So obviously a lot has gone on between now and then, and we're going to talk about your show coming up in 2021. But for maybe somebody that doesn't know you, hasn't seen your show, let's take them way back, because you've got an amazing history. So let's take them way back and tell them about what you've done.
I've been very privileged in my career. They have a saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I worked hard at it, but I had my own show in Las Vegas for almost 20 years. And when I came out to Branson 7 years ago, I promoted my show by saying direct from Las Vegas. And it was an extremely intriguing educational experience for me, because I thought that with my accomplishments that it would have been a plus. And the moment I got here, the reviews were, "Welcome to Branson, now go home." Ooh. And it wasn't that they'd seen the show yet, because they hadn't seen the show, but because the show was from Las Vegas, that's not what they wanted in Branson. Well, I had to educate the audience a bit more, because I guess even though I was enthusiastic about my success, they didn't know that I was the most successful show for families in the history of Las Vegas. And I was given a key to the city of Las Vegas as the show that every family should see. So when I came to Branson, they should have said, greatest family show in the world, direct from Vegas. It would have been okay. So I have no problem with it, because I am thrilled to be here in Branson. I am thrilled for the lifestyle. I'm thrilled for what it has done for my family. And I think that was my first bit of education about Branson. Also, I came in first at the Andy Williams Performing Arts Center, and Jimmy Osmond brought me in. He was out performing in Vegas, and actually called me into the theater they were performing at and said, "How would you like to go to Branson?" And I said, "Where?" and so when we made the move, he said, "Remember that Missouri is the show me state. You got to prove your worth out here, no matter who you think you are or what you've done.
Yeah.
You got to show your stuff." So I wanted to make sure when I got out here that it wasn't about me, that it was about what I could do for Branson, what my show could bring to Branson and make Branson that much more successful in my own little way. The amazing years, the history behind this part of the country, and what Branson has accomplished in the last 30, 40 years is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm a little part of it, but I just want to make sure that when I came in, that it really was that I dedicated myself to the city, and I did what I could to make sure that what I was presenting was the best that I could give Branson.
Let's go way back and tell people how you got into this business as a magician. I mean, do you call yourself a magician or illusionist, or can it be either way, or is there correct lingo? Or
we're all magicians, but I'm an illusionist, and I think it separates us because we're the guys who play with the big toys,
okay,
the big boy toys, helicopters, motorcycles, cars, making people float and fly in the air. All those type of grand effects make us an illusionist. I started when I was 7 years old.
wow.
And I'm sure I was watching a show at some time on television, and it inspired me. I don't know what it was, but I also grew up right next to Disneyland.
Okay.
And when I went to Disneyland, I loved to go there, not just because of what Disneyland is, but how everything works. I'd look at everything. I was on the rides, and I'd look behind things, and I'd see mechanics, and I'd see how things are done. And at the age of 17, I became the youngest solo performer for Disney. And for 2 years, I presented my show at the Disneyland Hotel
Wow.
at 17 years old.
Wow. So you got started in this very
Yes, and I was right there next to the dancing waters. And every night after my show at the hotel, I loved it. I'd jump on the monorail, I'd go into Disneyland, and I'd just watch people. And I appreciate Disney and what it taught me, and the true meaning of entertainment and the world of magic and fantasy and what you do for other people. So I am very grateful for those first 2 years.
Yeah.
And
Now-
what it taught.
Now, you've won some pretty big awards. And I have here Magician of the Year by the Academy of Magical Arts and Illusionist, we don't do double takes, of the World by World Magic Awards. Those are pretty big awards.
So Magician of the Year is the Academy of Magical Arts. That's the Magic Castle in Hollywood. That is the magic fraternity, if that's the verbiage you want to use.
Mm-hmm.
The Academy of Magical Arts is the group or the organization that represents the art of magic. It's like the Academy Awards.
Right.
And so I was given Magician of the Year, and then we have what are called the World Magic Awards, which are worldwide awards, which is the largest awards in the entire world in the art of magic. And
wow.
I was given Illusionist of the World.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm just lucky. My thing is the greatest magic in the world. It just happens to be in Branson.
Yes.
And so I'm thrilled with what I'm doing. I'm thrilled with what we've accomplished, but it doesn't mean that every night I have to go out there and prove my worth. When people buy tickets for the show, I want them to know that I'm aware that the money that they have and that they spend on the production and to bring their family out for some entertainment is a big deal for them. And my responsibility for them for those 2 or 3 hours that they're there is everything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I was taught well, since we're talking about awards, really, I've been really blessed in my life. My grandmother was an international judge and teacher in competition ballroom dance. My parents also taught ballroom dancing. And my sister and I were the United States ballroom dancing champions for 3 years in a row. So that kind of helped my magic. And why I bring that up is because my grandmother taught me while we were competing in competition dance that no matter where you look on that floor, when you watch Dancing with the Stars and they have those 3 judges sitting there and they judge you from where they're sitting, in real competition dance, the professional industry of ballroom dance, there are like 10 judges that surround the entire floor. So no matter where you turn, no matter where you look, there's a judge looking at you. So I was taught at a young age that when I was on stage, no matter what, I was always on.
You're always on.
Always on.
Yes.
That's my story.
That's good. Okay. We're always on. We're going to take a quick break.
I'm exhausted.
We'll be right back
my
in just a
goodness.
minute.
Illusionist
Rick Thomas.
Witness the most breathtaking and mind-blowing grand illusions in the world. Rick Thomas is, without doubt, the greatest illusionist worldwide. Now, see him live in Mansion of Dreams at the Mickey Gilley Grand Shanghai Theater in Branson. Prepare for the ride of your life.
Illusionist
Rick Thomas.
Oh, spectacular.
That's fabulous.
Was amazing. I like when he made the dogs appear.
The helicopter, that was really cool.
Hi, I'm Rick Thomas. I look forward to presenting the most amazing show as I weave magic, music, comedy, and dance into an evening I promise the entire family will enjoy. In fact, I promise to blow you away.
Absolutely.
The best show in town.
Yeah, this is our last show of the week, and it was by far our favorite.
Rick Thomas, awarded Illusionist of the World. For tickets, call 417-336-0888 or online at rickthomasmagic.com. That's rickthomasmagic.com.
Hey folks, welcome back. We're here with Rick Thomas today. And Rick, I've seen your show several times. I've actually been on stage on your show when you bring people up to watch. And like, I'm always just blown away because there are like some tricks I'm like, you can figure. There are other tricks, like, I just like, how do you do that? And that's what you want at the end of the day is like people to say, how did he do that? Like, right? I mean, that's the, like, that wonder and it's like the impossibility of stuff.
You want to know? Go on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can find all you want to know on YouTube.
Yes.
I'm not telling you to do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Come watch the show. I struggle with wanting to fool people and wanting to entertain people. And I realized that I love to entertain. I like to be part of people's lives and bring happiness to their life. The fooling part, or how does he do that, is kind of secondary to me. I'm all about presenting the show and making sure you're thoroughly entertained. Now, if you get fooled in the process, that's awesome. But I want them to make sure that they come see the show to see me rather than a guy doing tricks, and I hate the word tricks, grand illusions, and trying to figure them out.
Yeah.
I want people, when they start watching the show within the first few minutes, to forget about figuring out the show and just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
Just go
Enjoy
for
the
it.
ride.
Enjoy the ride.
Your wife is also in the show.
You know,
And so it's a family show.
it's a family show. Okay, I just saw something funny about my wife as well. So, big old story about my wife. She is actually from Zimbabwe, somewhere on this map. She's born and raised there her whole life in Africa. And her father's from England, her mother from Australia. And she grew up and was born in Zimbabwe. And her father passed on. They left. Her mother's back in Australia. Tara came to Las Vegas to try out for shows. And mine was the first show that she tried out for. And I said, can you start next week? She said, no. She didn't have a green card yet. I said, how long till you get a green card? She says, about 3 or 4 weeks. I said, good. I'll pay you in 3 or 4 weeks. And then I married her about 3 years later.
There you go.
And that's positive. Now, when we were driving out from Las Vegas to move the show from Vegas to Branson, I said to Tara, I said, hey, because I have a son and he's 21 years old. And I said, wouldn't it be awesome? We could put Brandon in the show. And she goes, why would you put your family in the show? And I said, oh, you haven't been to Branson. And when we got out here and I started taking her to all the shows, she's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
she got it.
your family has to be in the show.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny for me. She goes, why would you put your family in the show?
But she's a dancer in the show today, right? Like she's kind of one of your assistants. Is that how you would terminology it?
Very international family, very lucky. When she moved from Zimbabwe to go to school, she went to England and she was trained at the finest ballets in England. And when Tara, I don't know, you've seen her on stage. She is an amazing dancer.
Yeah.
When you see her on stage compared to what's going on in the world of dance, that's why in Vegas, when she came to the show and she was leaving because she didn't have a green card, she couldn't start working. I chased after her and I said, why are you leaving? You're amazing. and I made her stay.
Yeah.
So she's the star of the show.
So you've toured, you've been in over 50 countries with your show. You've been on Broadway, you've been in Vegas, you're in Branson, and then COVID hits, and it's been tough, but you're still here. You're still here, and this is one of the few places that people can perform.
I know. There's some very dear friends here in Branson. We've got the Haygoods. We got Dave Hamner. We've got just so many people. And I was actually talking to the Haygoods yesterday. I said, "How you guys doing?" And all I can see is in their face. As entertainers, this is like, whew, it's been a year. And it's been a year for everybody.
Right.
And I think that even though the entertainment business has been hit hard, everybody knows and everybody's experienced in some way or form the pandemic, and it's affected everybody. So it's not just us. And that's a bad thing, but it's also a good thing because we're in this together.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's not just one group of people where if just the entertainment industry was hurt, the rest of the world can, sadly to say, the rest of the world can go on without the world of entertainment, so to speak. We're like that court jester. We're like, okay, we have business to do, and if we have time, we'll go play around and watch your show. So we know where we're at. We have a passion for what we do, and we love the world of entertainment. But at the same time, we got to all put food on the table. So if it was just one segment of an industry and that's all it happened to, I don't think people wouldn't have the compassion, the thought process, and the hurt that everybody feels for what everybody's gone through. So we're kind of glad that it happened to everybody so that we can all grow and get through this together.
Yeah.
And that everybody can comprehend the challenges we all face.
So you've got changes coming in 2021. So tell people what's going on.
Smaller theater. It's a good thing though. What's different is the Mansion of Dreams. This last season, I built this massive set and created this whole show about my Mansion of Dreams where I invite all of you as invited guests into my show or into my home. I wanted to make sure that though the other theaters in Branson couldn't hold what I had created at the Andy Williams Theater, that we could still have an epic production. And luckily, the Grand Shanghai Theater has the most stunning back LED wall in their theater.
Yeah.
And I took my entire show and created video production throughout the entire show that takes them through the Mansion of Dreams on that LED wall.
Cool.
And so we very lucky. No, it's not just black curtains and a whole bunch of lights and a lot of smoke and all that kind of thing. There's actually still the production, the storyline, and thank goodness I was able to join forces with the Mickey Gilley Grand Shanghai Theater, and that they had the capability of allowing me to diversify and change the show so that it was still a great show.
Yeah. And I remember talking to you in off season, and I think like we weren't for sure whether you were going to be back or not. And so when I heard you were coming back, I was like, it was awesome. I was very excited because, I'm saying this about a lot of entertainers because we do have an incredible crop, but this guy is a world-class entertainer. And you can tell that when you go on to his show and see it. You can tell he's done it for 15 years, 600 shows a year in Vegas. It shows. And then he's been here 7 years or whatever.
7 years.
So that's a lot of years of entertaining people. And you hone your craft in that time frame. Time-wise, like, is there certain dates you're performing? Are you evening, afternoon, combination of both? Like, what's your schedule look like?
We're a combination of both.
Okay.
We play opposite the Chinese Acrobats. Also, we have the Texas Tenors in the theater, and of course, Mickey Gilley himself. So I'm just glad I have a show somewhere.
Right.
So we do a lot of the shows at night, and then we do a couple days a week in the afternoons. And I think that kind of works really well with the summer season. When I was first in Vegas, my first few years in Vegas, my show was a 2:00 show in the afternoons before I went to the evening productions. And our success, because it was a family show, was a big deal. And a lot of families love to watch the shows in the afternoon rather than stay up late at night with their children. So during the summer months, during spring break, which we in Branson look forward to, asking everybody to swarm this community of ours
Yeah.
during spring break, and come out here and see the shows. It just gives families a better chance to view it. And I don't think it matters. I think that once the doors close and the lights go out, whether it's 2 p.m. or 10 o'clock at night, it doesn't matter. The world we take you to and the escapism that we give you by watching a show is the same. Doesn't matter again.
So at the end of the day, different times.
Yeah.
And so if somebody wants to go to an afternoon show, you'll be doing that some, and then you'll also be doing some evening shows. And you're really right in the heart of the theater district out there at Mickey Gilley's theater, Mickey Gilley Grand Shanghai. I never know why. Do I say Mickey Gilley first? Do I say Grand Shanghai first? I still don't think I know. But anyway.
I can tell you now that I know. One is I'm just learning the phone numbers and their website. And it's kind of funny because people will ask me, I do slip of the tongue. It's very difficult when you've been in a theater so long. But Mickey Gilley has transferred the theater over to the Grand Shanghai Circus. But they were so appreciative of Mickey that they wanted to keep his name in the theater name. So I first was saying Mickey Gilley's, with an S, Grand Shanghai Theater. And I'm like, no, we have his name at the front of it, but it's Mickey Gilley Grand Shanghai Theater.
There we go.
So there's the answer. And yes, Mickey is there performing, usually Sunday nights. And in fact, I know when he came over to see my show at the Andy Williams Theater, Mickey came up to me at that point, and he was so gracious to me. He was so grateful for what he had seen in my show, and said, if there was any time that you could ever perform at our theater, he says, the doors are open. And I'm like, hello, Mickey.
Well, it's okay. It's okay to move in town because shows move all over.
That's right.
So
I'm touring Branson.
you're touring Branson, and so this is your next stop. And so, folks, we wanted to let you know because sometimes people do get confused. And so go see Rick. Go see the Mansion of Dreams at the Mickey Gilley Grand Shanghai Theater. There we go. And good luck to you this year. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the show.
Well, with your support, and we are very grateful for your support. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap the show up. So, folks, if you're coming to Branson, Missouri, you need to go see Rick Thomas and see his show over at the Mickey Gilley Theater, the Grand Shanghai Theater. It's right on West Highway 76, Country Boulevard, in the smack dab of everything, kind of right before Whitewater, and right after the Hughes Theater. So all in that area. Be sure to go check out his show. It will blow your mind away. I've seen it several times, and I have no idea how he does some of that stuff. That's the whole idea, right? Our next show, I have Michael Frost on. We haven't had him on for years. He's got a new show in town that he's a part of. We're going to talk about that, the Back to the BG show. But he's working at lots of different shows here in town, and so you'll want to watch the show next week to hear what's going on in Michael Frost's life. A couple of things I do want to mention to you. Be sure to pick up our Play Branson magazine around town. You can find everything there is to do in Branson. The #1 best free magazine in Branson. Check it out, Play Branson. Also, if you're a local, I've got something that you will want to get your hands on. I have got the Dining Passport. This is the new thing targeted to locals. You can get it online right now at thediningpassport.com. It's on sale for only $50. It's got $730 worth of value in it. If you like to go out and eat, I can guarantee you're going to save a lot of money. A lot of the coupons in here are buy one, get one frees. It won't take very long, and you'll be saving a lot of money. Think people like Red Lobster. We've got pizza places in here, the Farmhouse, Mr. G's, Cinnabon, Famous Dave's, Cold Stone, Mel's Hard Luck Diner, Outback, Papa John, Star Bar and Grill. I mean, the list goes on and on. So go to thediningpassport.com. This is a great way for you to save money. And here's the really cool thing about it is you also will help raise money for K-Life. So check it out. And we'll see you next week here on Play Branson.